David, this is a video put together to show you the busing demonstrations as well as some new side work for server assistants at Leña, Brava. Please continue to sell bottled water. And guys, I'm not trying to put anyone on the spot. David couldn't be with us today, and so I'm going to be videotaping for David, not for public release. So don't feel, this is for David.
So I can start whenever, right?
Yep. Christian's looking to see where he has to go. Okay. So he picked up the biggest plate first.
They're hugging the guest.
They're placing silverware down very quietly. God, this is like the master class. He's fanning the plates. He's still hugging the guest. Christian is doing ballet to lean down and get as far as he can. I barely heard any clinking. I've heard almost no clinking. They're stacking only the plates they have to stack, leaving the tortillas for last. And they quietly walk in. Signals yet? Now, what did you just do? Did you just call somebody? Let's try it again. Sit down. What are you going to do? What's your hand signal?
Could you demonstrate it for David?
He makes eye contact. Oh, and he goes and gets her. No.
Oh.
Okay. And everything's clear? All right.
Yes,
So who was close enough to have some feedback? You guys put your
We can put it somewhere here.
down?
Other than me?
Other than Susan. Carlene, do you have some feedback?
Base of the silverware.
Base, right.
Base,
Mm-hmm.
and one at a time.
So Maria, where you're touching the silverware, you picked it up from the front of the silverware, which is dirty and gross. You always want to pick it up from the handle.
Even if it's dirty, okay.
Both anytime you're ever touching silverware, dirty or clean, always, always.
What happened here is that she was leaning over to pick up her silverware. That should have been picked up by Pepe. So he can come around and pick it up that. That's just minor observation, but make sure you guys don't pick it up like this. You're gonna have food, you got crap on your hands. You guys don't want that, okay?
Any other observations? Anyone that was close enough to see?
Maria did a great job grabbing what we used for the chicken or the duck, the wooden one first. So she had her biggest one that she could put her silverware on and then use her wrist for the white plate. So that was a really great job getting your base plate also.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah, I would say sort of along the lines of the silverware, but just making sure that you're kind of aware of who is clearing what position and not trying to overreach and overclear something that Pepe could have gotten it too, because he had plenty of space in his hand too. And then Pepe, when you came back to reach that plate in the middle, the long white one that was left, she could have easily gotten that too, and it sort of would have been in her path. So just thinking about who's taking which zone
So
of the table.
it kind of goes back to what Leslie talked about. Pick a position and just circle back.
Yeah.
So you're gonna end up at the other person's position. Okay? let the staff do it. But table first, your table, what do you guys think? Amy, go.
Very quiet.
That's fine.
He did not backhand me. I do have one question. Are you guys particular about picking up one silverware at a time, or can you do all of them?
Pretty particular about one at a time, and laying them down quietly. 'Cause otherwise you're making noise when you're grabbing them all together, and then they make noise when they drop all together.
Great, thank you.
I get that. That's a really good point. And that's something that, of course, when you're lost in the moment and you're weeded, you're busy, it's your first reaction to just grab as much as you can with one hand. But again, that's not our style of service. And it maybe takes 3 or 4 more seconds to grab each individual piece of silverware. But again, that's the level of service that we're going for, and it just creates that much more of this really beautiful, elegant style of service.
One thing I noticed, you guys left the tabla to the very end. That was fair, right? Make sure you guys pick up that tabla first, use it as a tray. That'll offset a lot of the noise of clanking of the silverware to the plate. And then you can stack 1 or 2 things on top of that. So, what else did you see?
Just at the very, very end when you grab the tabla, backhanded Christian a little bit. Could have grabbed it from the other side, but other than that, it was really
Okay, everyone.
I like that he did the MDC last. I think that's a really good thing he did, because that person is not there. So trying to get all the most obtrusive stuff to the guests that are seated, and then finishing at the.
I like that he had 2 plates in one hand, fanned out. That's something that I'm bad at doing. I don't have that skill, but having that fanned out was a nice way to get an extra plate in his hand without having to stack anything.
You got this.
Yes, I do. Well,
That's a water glass, you can keep it.
oh, okay.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Things that he did very, very well. He touched the glasses by the base. That was very well done. What did he not do well? Yes.
I think how he had the tray like in the middle of the table versus on the side, like keeping it away from the guest.
True. What else? He did not hug the guests. So he hugged me and he backhanded these 2. So Zach, let's try this again so you can get practice at this. So this is where you end up having to switch hands with your tray. You gave us jazz fingers. Jazz fingers. There you go.
No power in this up there.
This is a tough table, it must be said, with Chad and Oscar. I'm getting nervous just filming it.
Okay. Comments for Naro.
Table. Primero la tabla, primero te tiene que dar la tabla, primero que cualquier cosa. Si quieres, that's if you choose. Yo fui el último que agarré la tabla, pero estoy pensando que ahí con la tabla puede uno poner el silver y hace menos ruido. Es buena idea. So you just said picking up the tabla helps out to muffle the noise. That's what we spoke about it, talked about it.
So I'll have comments for Naro then. Naro, silverware, 1 at a time. I never want to see you go hop, skip, jump on a table and pick up 3 things at once. It's 1, 2, 3. I think that you were thinking the whole time, because I know it's hard to be on the spot. I know you were definitely thinking, which hand do I use, which hand do I use? And that happens to all of us, and that's why this is so hard. But with more practice, I know that you'll get used to hugging and not backhand. Anybody else that was closer than I? Comments? Oscar, Matt?
Just backhanding, making sure we're hugging the guests. There's a couple things where he grabbed Chad when he was on this side, and then came around, realized he needed to hug him, so came around and got the plate from the correct position, just the first couple, and realized what you did and adjusted mid-course, which was great.
All right, last table, Beatrice, you're up.
Hold on, one thing he did that should have followed Leslie's instruction, he went this way. Should have gone this way. Because that allows his right hand to be free all the time. How the guys pick up stuff. So you should you guys do the
Dancing clockwise. Clockwise dancing.
Yeah, so in this instance, Naro was at C3, so he has 3 and 4, and Boras should have 1 and 2.
We're just opposite ends. 2 and 4, 1 and 3.
Would it be easier if we do like clockwise, counterclockwise, like that everybody
Always
already knows?
clockwise.
And like
We gotta do clockwise.
Always.
Clockwise. Why?
And-
Why can't it be counter?
Australia, Southern Hemisphere.
You have to be left-handed to go counter.
Well, I'm left-handed. That's the problem.
It's a same,
bro.
it's a same.
I saw Instagram. I'm not seeing anyone react.
Yeah, I made eye contact.
In reality, it's the server that's going to help pick up that
That's good. That's a must.
or the essay
Everybody's.
or my man.
I'm still trying to understand why Naro was hesitant to hug Chad.
That was lovely. Any comments over there? Anything I didn't see? Eric, you look like you want to say something.
I guess it's just part of my reach, I guess, if you were reaching a boss, I guess.
Part of my reach, talking to guests. And that brings up a good point that I forgot to mention. When it comes to clearing glassware, there's two things that we should always be doing. And one of them we definitely don't do enough. One of them is to ask a guest who hasn't touched a drink for quite some time if it can be cleared. May I please clear this for you? I don't want anyone to be saying, "Are you finished?" I don't want to hear, it's fine with me to say, "Can I get this out of your way?" Or "May I clear this for you?"
Are you still working on this?
I don't want to hear, "Are you still working on this?" But it's important that
everybody know
that
why?
drink that's sitting there in the corner isn't just sitting there the entire time. It's definitely one of our owners' pet peeves when things are lining up and they've got a cocktail glass and then 2 wine glasses. If somebody hasn't touched something for a while, it is your duty, in fact, to ask, May I clear this for you? May I clear this for you? Just for the red wine now? Great, I'll get these two out of the way.
So a key to that too is going to be communication. So if you go to a table and you ask if you can clear something and they're not ready to be cleared, if you're the essay, let your server know you talked to the table. If you're the server, let your essay know you talked to the table, because the last thing we want is 2 minutes later a different person going up to the table and asking if they can clear that again. The guests are going to feel rushed and they're going to feel like we want them out of here, which we do not. So make sure that if you do go to clear something and they're not ready, let somebody know so they don't go and try to clear it again.
If it's an ice cube in a glass, I'm one of the people that annoys servers because I keep ice at my table, I like it. And I have 5 people ask me in 30 minutes or just not ask me and try to take it when I turn my head.